Sing a little drummer boy. All right. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Macon-Bibb County Pre-Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, December the 16th, and time is approximately 4:05. I'd like to welcome everyone here and call this meeting to order. We do have several items on the agenda. Possibly a need to go into executive session, and we have our regularly scheduled meeting at 6 o'clock tonight. So at this time, we'll call this meeting to order, and our first order of business will be the approval of the minutes. This is the approval of the minutes from the pre-commission meeting that we had on December the 3rd of this year. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. We're going to move on to several appointments to authorities, boards, and committees, all the way from A through E. The first one is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to reappoint Kenorvius Blair, we know him as Ken Blair, to serve as a member of the Macon-Bibb County Transit Authority. He's done a good job on the authority, and they would ask that he be recommended again. So at this time, I entertain a motion to approval. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark, second by Commissioner Bailey. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item B is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Pearlie Tolliver, Charlotte Woody, Valerie Wynn, DeWitsu Ham to serve as the members of the Retirement Committee for the Macon Pensions and Retirement Systems Division A Plan. Hope I said all that right. Raymond, you're not on that list? Oh, okay. All right, we've got, those are all renewals, I believe, and we ask for a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Howell. Any questions? No questions or concerns. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries to be sent to consent agenda. Item C is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing the following: Jesse Griffin, Michael Smallwood, Christy Alucci, Paul Bronson, Valerie Wynn, and Christopher Patterson to the Pension Trustee Board of the Macon-Bibb County Pension Plan. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Bronson, second by Commissioner Bailey. Any questions?
Commissioner Lucas was here. Paul would have to go stand there and tell us a little bit about it.
Paul who? Oh, Paul. I assume he has no conflict voting for himself, right? Can you vote for yourself? Okay. I don't know. It's kind of suspect there. I have to break a tie vote since Mallory's not here. All right. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries will be sent to consent agenda. Item D is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Natasha Christian and Dr. Lori Rogers to the Keep Macon-Bibb Beautiful Board. Can I get a motion to approve? A motion by Wynn, second by Bronson. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item E is our final reappointment. That's a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Mayor Lester Miller and Walt Miller to the Central Georgia Development Authority. I get a motion to approve. Mayor Pro Tem Clark, second by Commissioner Bailey. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously to be sent to consent agenda. Going to move right on to alcohol licenses. We do have several of those. We do get a lot of these toward the end of the year sometimes, and sometimes we have some transfers, so we'll go through there. I believe all but two of those are in favor of approval from our legal counsel. Two of them do not recommend, and we'll go through those individually. The first one is item A, which is Stevens Food Plus LLC, located at 12886 or 12286 Anthony Road. You can see a picture of that one there. The business self-identifies as a grocery store and Vice Mart. Inspection revealed the business is actually operating as a Vice Mart. Legal recommends denial of this item. So at this time, we entertain a motion to support the denial. Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. All those in favor of this denial, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. We'll ask attorneys to send out the appropriate documentation to notify those involved and get back to as at the appropriate time. The second item also will be recommended denial. That's item B, Central Pantry located at 635 Womack Street. You can see the Central Pantry there. The business also self-identifies as a food mart. However, upon inspection by code enforcement, it is revealed that the business does not meet the definition of a food mart and is operating as a Vice Mart. After review, legal recommends denial. This time, we entertain a motion for approval of the denial. Motion by Commissioner Howell. We have a second. second by Commissioner Bailey. All those in favor of the motion to deny, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will take the appropriate legal steps as necessary. Item E is VZZ Hookah, Inc., located at 3555 Mercer University, just 3 5s, Macon, Georgia. That's, if you're familiar where the El Sombrero area used to be across from the mall, that's where that area is at. They went through planning and zoning. They meet all the legal and statutory requirements to open up a business there, which includes some live entertainment with some restrictions and alcohol consumed on premises. Legal does recommend approval of that item, and at this time, I entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Jones. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item D is Bombay Curry, located at 3892 Bloomfield Village Drive. Bombay Curry's been there quite a while, but now they're going to get an alcohol license, so this is why they're on this agenda. And also because it's at the end of the year, they've been going through this process this year, their license will be good for the next year as well, pursuant to our ordinance. But at this time, I'd like to, excuse me, entertain a motion for approval of the Bombay Curry located at 3892 Bloomfield Village. Motion by Commissioner Bailey, we have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Carp. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries, be sent to consent agenda. Item E is Riverside Mobile, located at 2900 Riverside Drive. You can see a picture of that one. That's a change of ownership. They have a gas station there as well, and they meet all the legal and statutory requirements, including the certificate of good standing. So this time, Commissioner Howell, you have a question, sir?
I just gonna point out that at one point in Macon's history, that was Howell's Exxon.
Okay.
And I
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Howell. Do we have a second? Second by, who's that? Is that Watkins a second? Okay, Roger Watkins is a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Yes, ma'am.
I spent many nights pumping gas right there. That was instead of going to college, that was my first career move.
That was a good move by you. Okay. We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. All those opposed, nay. Okay, motion passes 8-1. Next one is item F, which is Rocky's Liquor, located at 1090 Eisenhower Parkway. As you can see, that's going to be a new store, change of ownership, a change of ownership, liquor store with change of ownership. Legal does recommend approval, meets all the legal and statutory requirements, including a certificate of good standing. At this time, we ask for a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Wynn. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item 9 is Legend. It's located at 2936 Broadway, Macon, Georgia. This is an event venue with alcohol consumed on premises. You see a copy of that. That's there on the corner, I think, right across the Macon Transit Authority. Used to be another lounge a while back. So it has served as a business that had alcohol on premises before. Just giving you some information. They meet all the legal and statutory requirements, including a certificate of good standing. At this time, legal recommends approval. Can we get a motion to approve? So moved. Motion by Commissioner Jones. We have a second. Commissioner Watkins? Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. Okay. Motion carries 8-1. Item H is Vineville Food Mart, located at 3224 Vineville Avenue. That's a gas station with change of ownership. Not sure if we have a picture of that one or not. There you go. That's what they told me. It's been inspected and it opened and the gasoline pumps work. So this is a change of ownership, and legal recommends approval. They met all the legal and statutory requirements to do so, including a certificate of good standing, meaning they paid all their taxes. Go ahead. Sure.
Wine, I believe. Is that correct? So is this new ownership? Is that why it's,
This is a change of ownership, yes, ma'am.
okay, so
But they did some remodels and they, I guess, purchased the existing business there.
are they
now they're
selling
leasing.
gas also?
They do.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Commissioner Bailey, would you have a similar question?
Yes, and Mayor, I also visited.
Speaking to
the
that microphone, Ms. Bailey.
I also visited the area, and the gas stations were non-functional. All pumps were non-functional. And then if you look down, it looks like that they had been disconnected for some reason.
Has that been
And the
recently?
yeah, and then the store itself, it was also closed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's,
Same thing I saw too.
Yeah.
I didn't check the gas pumps, but the store looked closed.
Motion to table by Commissioner Watkins. We have a second.
Second,
Second by, who is that? Commissioner Bronson, Wynn?
thank
All
you.
those in favor of the motion to table, please say aye.
I,
Opposed, nay. Motion is hereby granted. That will be tabled. We'll send out for a re-inspect on that. Of course, they're not required to do that before they get the license. Understand that. The alcohol permit just determines whether or not they can open up past 11 o'clock or not. So they can open up as a store and sell alcohol on the premises. They just can't open up overnight, stay overnight if they don't have gasoline pumps. So that doesn't distinguish whether or not they can open up or not, just so you know that. But we'll have them look at that. We'll revisit that back in the first meeting in January. Thank you. Item I is a King's Food Mart located at 2765 Houston Avenue. We did have this inspected recently. The gas station with change of ownerships. Sometimes it's not very attractive, but the gas station does work. And legal does recommend approval on that after an inspection. They meet all the legal and statutory requirements to do so. This time we entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. It looks like 8-2 with Commissioner Stewart's and Bronson. Hey, 7-2. I'm counting myself. I'm sorry. I am a commissioner. I am a commissioner, by the way. All right, 7-2. Commissioner Hall, do you have something to add, sir? Or is that old?
I do, if you'll indulge me just a minute.
Yes, sir.
I'd kind of like to go back to something and ask a question. The liquor store at the corner of Raines Avenue and Broadway.
Well, we're going to take this vote first. I'll be happy to try to go back and answer your question on the other right now. But
Okay.
We do have a motion and a second on this item here, right? And we just voted? Okay. Want to make sure. Yeah, I was trying to catch you for your light. According to Mayor Pro Tem, 12-2, I like your math there, sir. All right, now, you had a question about Rockies before? The change of ownership on the liquor store? That's on Eisenhower Parkway, sir.
No, it's the one on, it's 2936 Broadway.
Yes, sir, that's the, it's not a liquor store, that's just a alcohol consumed on premises. It's, that's above that, sir. Yeah.
This is just a consumption there.
Yes, sir. I won't call it a club, but that suggests what it is. Yeah. Item J is MKD Fuel and Food located at 5730 Columbus Road. That's a gas station with a change of ownership. You can see the picture there of the gas station. They do meet all legal and statutory requirements to be open and to get this permit, and legal does recommend approval. At this time, we entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Wynn, second by Commissioner Bailey. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 9-0. Is that right? There you go. HP Liquors located at 6374 Zebulon Road. You can see HP Liquors there, just across the Zaxby's on Zebulon Road. This is a change of ownership, remain at the same location. So this time, legal does recommend approval, and they meet all the legal and statutory reasons, including a certificate of good standing. So at this time, I entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Jones, second by Wynn. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Will be sent to consent agenda. Item L, that's what comes out to K. Chevron Food Store located at 997 Gray Highway. Got a picture of that there. I think most people are familiar with that is on Gray Highway. They have a change of ownership there. They meet all the legal and statutory reasons to get approval, and legal does recommend approval. So at this time, I got a question by Commissioner Watkins.
I was just giving the east side an opportunity to voice any opposition before they just quickly vote no.
Yeah, if you vote no, please give some legal, a legal reason why you are voting no on that. Okay.
No, I just feel that those areas are really inundated with liquor stores, pawn shops, all the things that are pretty much pulling at the community. So I'd definitely be voting no for it, yes.
Well, liquor stores, of course, we cannot, we put a moratorium on those. Pawn shop's still on the table, but they are entitled to get an alcohol license unless there's a legal reason not to do so, not just not liking it, but I do appreciate your opinion. Anyone else want to make opinion on that before we vote? I think we do have a motion and second on the Chevron Food Store at 987 Gray Highway. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Motion carries 6-3. Just Tap, located as item M, Just Tap, located at 488 First Street, just across City Hall. What you need? He gets a vote just because it's his last meeting. Don't try to take a vote away from him. Unless he votes for something later on, we may say. All right. Just Tapped, located at 488 First Street, just across the street from City Hall, now featuring not only beer and wine, but alcohol, liquor, et cetera. They do meet all the legal statutory requirements to do so, and have completed a certificate of good standing, and legal does recommend approval. So all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. I'm sorry. Let's get a motion first. Got Mayor Pro Tem Carter's got a motion. Who's got a second? Second by Bronson. Mr. Washington, you got a question?
No, that was a light
Okay,
one
light
earlier.
one. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously 9-0. Item N is Old Muggy Brew Pub located at 484 Second Street, just one block down from there. They will also be adding liquor consumed on premises as opposed to just wine and beer or just beer. And they do meet all legal and statutory requirements to do so, including a certificate of good standing. And at this time, we'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Bronson, second by Wynn. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Going to move on to contracts and purchase orders for approval. Item 5A is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute a professional services agreement for an audit of Macon-Bibb County telecommunications accounts with S2K Consulting at an hourly rate of $120 plus 50% of all first-year savings on any disconnected, corrected, or improved rates to be paid from the IT department budget and security infrastructure, contract labor, contractual services, and line item of such other accounts as savings generated through the services may be held. As you can see, Dr. Moffitt is coming up to speak about this since the language appears to be a little convoluted there, but want to let you know, he can let us know what's going on here and what the purpose of this is for.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Keith Moffitt, County Manager. What I have here is a continuation of a project that's been going on for years. If you recall, we years ago entered into our ESCO with Schneider, and part of that included a telecoms component. In that, we consolidated phone lines from about 8 carriers down to what is now 2, possibly 3. And the reason why I say possibly is because we average anywhere from 1,200 to 1,600 phone lines. And some of the phone lines are not just direct phone lines. They're like the fax lines, the security lines, and elevators and things of that nature. And what I need to do is to continue to clean this up I just need some help. And this company specializes in coming in and doing the audit of all the phone lines, working with the carriers because they have new programs and things of that nature that we can continue to consolidate lines down. Give you an example, we roughly have about, 1,600 employees. I don't need 1,600 phone lines. Every employee don't have a phone line. And so I'm just trying to ensure that we have the minimum or maximum number of phone lines, whichever way you want to go with it, that keeps us as an efficient operating government. What this contract does is they have an hourly rate to come in and do the audit, but part of their guarantee is they will find lines that need to be disconnected. And in doing that, there will be savings, and part of their pay will be out of that savings once they show us how much they're going to be saving over the length of the contract. We're in the last year of the Mitel contract. This will give me an opportunity to have a baseline that if we decide to bid the phone lines out again, that I know exactly what the requirements of how many lines we will need and exactly what type of lines we will need. And so this is what this audit is.
Thank you, Dr. Moffitt. Commissioner Bronson?
Hey, Doc, thanks for your input on that one and updates. Just out of curiosity, when you say phone lines, are we referring to internet services, prepaid, tablet devices, and watches?
No.
Okay.
Commissioner Wynn?
That's all I got.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Moffitt. I do recall when we went through this before and you now reduced, it's been reduced to 3 carriers, is that right?
Yes, Mitel, AT&T, and I believe we probably have some with, it's either Avano or Windstream.
So will this possibly reduce it again, or
Yes,
just get
I would like to get down to just one carrier.
one carrier altogether?
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe not one of these either that we currently use?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moffitt. Of course, we want to make sure we're not overpaying and want to be more efficient as possible. So that's part of the reason to do that. We just don't have enough staff to do that on hand. So this is why we're doing it. This is probably something we wouldn't have to bring before commission because it's probably not going to meet the amount of money that's necessary because of professional services. But you never know until you start getting into there. So we figure we'd err on the side of caution and bring that before commission. So that's why Dr. Moffitt's doing this. So this time, Commissioner Watkins, I'm sorry, I can see your light on, sir.
Yeah, and as stated earlier, guys, I'm not gonna be here next month. I'm curious, and as an upcoming taxpayer, non-commissioner, how much do we,
You haven't paid taxes before now?
yeah, but anyway, to the point. Won't have a say-so here, but I do want y'all to make sure you ask them, how much do we spend on phones? I see the $120 an hour, but how much do you estimate, or what is your stop point for this contract, and what do you expect, what are you expecting out of this?
I actually practiced this answer. I will get that to you at the next meeting, sir.
So, great.
No, but seriously, to answer your question, there we go.
You have, there's a lot of information you hadn't gotten to me, but.
The phone line is in, Christy, what's it called? Yes, it's in the service of government. We pay utilities out of that.
Sure.
So I will have to, and that's part of the audit is I can look back and we need to separate out some of the utilities. We get the bills in from AT&T, we get them in from Mitel. But currently, right now, the new contract from Mitel, I believe, is right around $11 a line, and we are contracted for 1,200 lines. And so that roughly is about 1,200, whatever that math is, a month. And I'm trying to get that number down. 2,000 a month roughly, and I'm trying to get that number down. But that's just the Mitel. We still have AT&T because unlike Commissioner Brunson's question, some of that does include internet, but it's not for cell phone, it's not for tablets or things of that nature. Because we have some lines that are voice over IP. See, it is a very convoluted system because phone lines are just like that now. And some phone lines actually we use, for efficiency, we try to use what we call phone trees. So some lines have multiple extensions. And so we're trying to get a handle on how many of those lines we actually have. You know, like if you call solid waste, for an example, you have 4 extensions on that one line. And so, but we don't pay for those 5, we just pay for that one.
So under that, I'm sure we know how many phones are associated with Public Works. You're assuming that we'll be able to delete some of them because we don't use them?
Yes, that is the goal.
And, okay. And again, to the money part, how many hours or how much money do you expect to use this company?
I'm hoping the savings will be in excess of over $500,000. That is, I'm hoping the savings, because I do believe we're going to eliminate a lot of lines.
Okay, so
because I'm going to put criteria in line that you know.
So that 500,000 is 20% savings on some type of whole number, 5%, 75?
I don't know.
How did you come up with it?
I came up with that based on the number of lines that I hope to eliminate, and from that, at $11 a line, I'm hoping to keep around the 1,100 number. I feel like based on general conversations, that we probably need about 1,100 true phone lines. Because an example is I'll put things in place like, you know, if you're not at a desk, you probably don't need a phone assigned to you. Because part of the matrix is, you know, if you work inside the government, you call someone, the name comes up on the phone. The phones are just that sophisticated. And again, we're going to look at what our criteria is for people to have a phone.
So minus 400 lines, and that will save us $500,000 if I'm understanding?
I'm hoping that's my goal.
Okay.
But those are not exact numbers, but I will report back as we move down the road. Because like I mentioned before, with the last year of the phone contract, we're either going to have to renew with Mitel or we're going to have to go with another carrier.
And so in that savings, I guess half of that savings goes to This contractor?
Right, once they show me that they've once they've shown that they have eliminated those lines, then we're able to say that we've saved that, the contract says that we will pay 50% of that.
So instead of paying $11 per line, we pay $6 a line.
No,
I mean, $5.50,
well,
I guess.
no, we will pay for the phone line, but if we eliminate a line, then we pay, yes, you're right, yeah.
And do we
the
pay
savings
that
of
for
yes.
a year, 2 years,
1 year.
1 year? Okay. Okay.
All right.
We have two other questions. Mr. Wayne, you still have a question or not?
Watkins just asked that question. So the first year, I mean, we're paying $120 an hour
Right.
plus 50% on the first year of the savings, right?
Well, the contract's only for that year.
It's just 1 year, but we pay the 50% of the savings they get for that year.
Correct.
So it'll take the whole year to do that analysis?
No, it won't take the whole year. I mean, that's the hourly rate to do the analysis, but once they show what they saved us, what we would have saved over that year, we would pay them 50% of that savings.
Okay, thank you.
That makes sense.
Mr. Bronson, you still have a follow-up, or you done, sir?
No, I was just gonna ask, I know you said no already to that, but is there a way for us to include that? That's one, and then two, when developing the criteria, will that kind of look like, what that should look like, or will that look like basically your department heads, team leads, et cetera, on-call personnel, or is that just?
Right, because, and again, devil's in the details. I'm gonna ask, if you have a county cell phone, you probably don't need a desk phone. But I do know some departments still gonna require a desk phone, especially with customer service, but every employee may not, especially, like, you know, we're double dipping in that regard. So we're gonna be looking at all that in the matrix.
Okay. And then lastly, and I know you just answered it basically, but in the event that a person says, hey, we don't need to utilize a desk phone, the desk number, or I've got my Verizon hat on, so forgive me. So in a sense, basically you say, hey, is there a way for us to do a hub where a person calls in and says, yes, I want to reach out to District 1 Commissioner, and it will ding her cell phone?
We're thinking of that those are things that will come up in the policy.
Okay.
As we create the policy.
Can I be included in that discussion?
We separate.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we do need a motion to approve. So I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Bronson. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. We're going to move on to appropriations and transfers, and we've got two of those tonight. The first one, appropriations and transfers, is the ordinance of Macon-Bibb County, item 6A, commission to amend the fiscal 2024 general fund budget to $252,430,623 in total revenues and $252,430,623 in total expenditures and other year-end adjustments. This time, we entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Howell. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Bronson. Commissioner Watkins, got questions?
Just remind me, what was the revenue and general fund budget total before this? This is adjustment of how much?
What was the original amount? I don't have the packet in front of me. 210. So if you recall, this is our like end of the year cleanup. We go through and add up all the things that commission approved throughout the year. And then the original budget was passed at 210. And so over the year, we've had to make adjustments to get us to the 252 number.
So an additional $40 million?
Good afternoon. Christy Alucci, Finance Director. Yes, but not in this adjustment.
I'm sorry?
Over the year, you voted for about $35,000 worth of supplemental appropriations.
35 million?
That is not part of this year-end. This one's just to year-end cleanup. You got to 252 by voting for $30 million worth of supplemental fund balance appropriations throughout the year on various ordinances. This is just the cleanup entry at the end of the year. So you were already at 210 plus 35 million before this number. This is about 6 to 8 million, I think.
Okay.
So, and I understand that. I remember reviewing that during the last year's FY24 budget.
And this
But it's amazing how much work we end up doing here, 35 million in additional spending on top of our 210. Right, we did that, just so we're clear. But yeah.
But it is a balanced budget.
This actual cleanup entry is covered by overages and revenue.
Where are the revenues overages happening? Just out of
They're at the top-
curiosity.
They're at the very top of the entry. Motor vehicle tax ad valorem, electric sales tax for local option, and the SPOS was a little bit higher. Because remember, we have to budget at 99%, so I don't budget any increases, even though I know we may have some. So we probably should have expected to have local option sales tax increase and the OLOST increase, because we're basically budgeting at 99% of our budget as required by another vote from the board.
It's a good problem to have, especially when the governor's already warning that our sales tax numbers are all down across the state, while Macon-Bibb County continues to grow our sales tax base. And a lot of that's based on our tourism and all the things that we've been doing in that respect. So it's a little tough when you have two pennies there to kind of estimate these things. And of course, we don't do 100%. Otherwise, we get ourselves in trouble there, so we do 99%.
Exactly.
So, good question. All right, we do have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Our second and final on the appropriations, I believe, is going to be 6B. This is the ordinance of Macon-Bibb County Commission to approve a supplemental appropriation for the transfer of $57,767,233 from the fund balances of multiple funds in 2025 budget to account for outstanding purchase orders. And you want to tell a little bit about that?
These are just the purchase orders that we roll over from fiscal year end that are still open. Obviously, we cannot finish all of our business, write all our contracts, and have everything done at 6:30. So these the money for these purchase orders that have been approved has to be rolled to the next year, and this is something that happens each year in different funds. This is pretty close in line with how we normally are at the year end, except the only difference is there's a significant increase in the grants fund, but that is because of all the runway, taxiway grants that are in that fund, and those purchase orders needed to be rolled over.
So this is money we appropriated, money that we have, but we didn't spend it before the budget, so we rolled over to the next budget.
And any contract above any limit's been through the board. It's just, these have been approved through all the processes. They're just outstanding at the end of the year because everything's not paid at the end of the year, and these will be invoiced and billed in the next year. And each year we just have to roll those over because that's the basis for the budget.
Okay.
And just an addition, 6:30 is June 30th, just to make sure we're on the same page. I am instructing all department heads that any PO greater than 18 months, we really need to look at as to why. Could be a reason for couldn't get the product or vendor or something to that effect. But anything not spent within 18 months, I am telling them to really reassess to make sure that that train is moving down the track.
Thank you for that. We need a motion. So we need a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Wynn, second by Commissioner Bailey. Any further questions, Commissioner Howell?
I just want to point out when you mentioned you kind of briefly went over the airport stuff out there, that we're actually moving dirt at the airport now. There's actually bulldozers on site moving dirt. So I understand that this has partly to do with that. So I absolutely in favor of this.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We have a motion and a second. If there are no further questions or concerns, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Going to move on to grants. In grants, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grants tonight. The first one is item 7A. This is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Salvation Army, and I see many of our Salvation Army partners here today, granting a community development block grant, CDBG, in the amount of $67,000 to provide for emergency shelter services to prevent displacement of individuals and families. At this time, we entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Wynn, second by Commissioner Bailey. And we have a motion and a second. Any questions? And we had this come up before. Remember, we carried this back over, but I'll let you ask a question, Ms. Wynn. Go ahead.
Since they're here, could we ask a question? I mean,
Sure, if we'll get Mr. Wanzina Jackson to come up, and then she can get help from Salvation Army too. Just tell us a little bit about the reason the $67,000 were granted and what it's going to be used for.
So these funds are provided through the coronavirus grant. These funds are to prevent, prepare for, or respond to COVID-19. We do have regional representatives here for the Salvation Army, Major Corbett, as well as Captain Barrington. And then we also have someone here from the local office, which is Dr. White. For this particular, for this particular contract that we're moving forward, it is for emergency shelter services. It has several things that are included as a part of that budget that deals with mattresses, linens, towels, things of that nature, as well as food. Also has some salaries, and then also with regards to kitchen supplies, cleaning supplies, and things of that nature as far as the grant is concerned.
If I recall correctly, there was some discussion about who was allowed to stay there at one point overnight, and
Of course, that's the Salvation Army. We worked through that last year, as you may recall. At some point in time, they hit a critical mass and could not take any single men at the location, and we worked through those issues, and they were able to get that back up there. This, of course, is same company, but different part.
Okay, thank
This
you.
is what we approve in our budget every year that passes through the CDBG, and they awarded that. We're just now getting around to disposing of the monies to them.
Well, that's great. I appreciate the work that you do, Salvation Army, and you too, Ms. Jackson. But I wanted to make sure that we had made sure that problem was taken care of, or situation.
Thank you, Commissioner Wynn. Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for being here today. And at this time, we do have a motion and a second. We'll go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously 9-0. Will be sent to consent agenda. Thank you very much. Going to move on to item B, which is a resolution Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of a criminal justice coordinating victims VOCA grant. Allocation for federal fund fiscal year 2025. This is the amount of $86,109 with local funding match requirements having been waived for this grant cycle, which means we have to put no money down on this, to the Macon Judicial District Attorney's Office. This time we entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bronson. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Will be sent to consent agenda. Item C is a similar resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of a vocal continuation award allocation for federal funds for 2025 in a total of $78,980,000 with local match fund requirements having been waived for this grant cycle. Again, this time it's going to the Bibb County Solicitor General's office, Ms. Rebecca Wright's office. This is something that we always do. We've been over this before, but this time I'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a second? Second by, who is that, Commissioner Stewart? We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. The next one, I'll have our Director of EMA come forward. Item D, this is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of monetary donation from Urban Tissue in an amount of $2,000 to Macon-Bibb County Emergency Management Agency. Yes, sir, we'll hear from you.
Good afternoon, and thank you. Spencer Hawkins, I'm the Emergency Management Director for Macon-Bibb County. This year, during Irving Tissue's Day of Giving, we were generously given a $2,000 donation for us to use as we saw fit to help promote emergency management here in Macon-Bibb County. And what we have decided to do is pay for emergency preparedness calendars. We did this last year for the first year. We're doing it again this next year. These will be paid for by this donation. We're going to hand them out free, put them in the recreation centers, put them here at City Hall to get them out to the community. They have great information on how to be prepared throughout the year. And one of the highlights is that all of the photos is artwork from Bibb County school children. So we worked with the art departments throughout the schools, both elementary, middle, and high schools, to create these art pieces, and we put them in the calendar, laid it all out, and all of the printing for the calendars will be done at the Wish Printing office with the Hutchings Career Academy. So we're very excited about this, and we thank Irving Tissue for their donation to help make this possible.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. At this time, we entertain a motion. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Jones, Commissioner by, who was second? I'll let you guess on that one. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. And we do appreciate Irving Tissue. As you know, they just expanded for the third phase, several $100 million expansion there for Bibb County, and certainly they're always a willing participant and given to things like this, so we appreciate them. There you go. So item E is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing acceptance of a BJA fiscal 2022 Edward Burns Memorial Justice Assistance Grant from the Department of Justice Office of Justice Programs in an amount of $155,706 with no local match required to be used by the Bibb County Sheriff's Office to purchase technology and equipment. I see our Sheriff David Davis here today. If you have any questions, I'm sure he'll be able to answer those, but this is acceptance of a $155,000 grant with no match for equipment for the Sheriff's Department. At this time, I need a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bronson, second by Commissioner, is that Jones? Commissioner Jones, quick on the spot. We have a motion and second. If anybody wants to be a co-sponsor, please let Ms. Ross know. And a lot of times we do this unanimously on the public safety one. So we have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item 8 is organizational chart changes. This is an ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to amend the organizational chart of the County Attorney's Office. So this time we'll hear from Senior County Attorney, Mr. Mike McNeil, who's beside me. And he'll give you a brief rundown, if you'll let me turn my light on.
It's on.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So for the last several years, the County Attorney's Office has gotten a grant through ACCG for a summer internship program where they fund approximately 75% of the cost for us to have summer interns. And that program has been incredibly successful in our office. The interns generally come from Mercer, but have come from other law schools in Georgia. They've been a big help for us, and we find that it instills an interest in public service law and in local government generally as well. And so a couple of those interns have gone on now to serve as clerks for some of our local judges as well. So that's been a great program for us, and we found out recently that Mercer Law School has changed its policy regarding internships during the school year, where students are now able to work for pay and for course credit at the same time. Previously, when I went to law school, you had to pick one or the other. You couldn't get both, but now they can do both, and so I'd like to take advantage of this for the whole year. This has actually been funded in our budget already, so there's no additional supplemental that we're asking for, but this is just an amendment to our org chart to add 2 internship positions that'll be basically year-round. So we'll have 2 for the spring semester, 2 for the summer semester, 2 for the fall semester.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Attorney McNeil. At this time, we entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bronson, second by, who was that? Commissioner Jones, I heard. I'll get you again, Ms. Bailey. We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Our final item on the agenda is concerning the special purpose local option sales tax. Need some water on that one. Commonly referred to SPLOST. So this is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission to impose, levy, and collect a special purpose local option sales tax within Macon-Bibb County, conditioned upon approval by the majority of the qualified voters residing within the Macon-Bibb County voting and election therein, to be held on March the 18th, 2025, to authorize the issuance of general obligation debt of Macon-Bibb County. So this is what we call our SPLOST renewal. This is a renewal of the 1 penny sales tax that will come up. This is the first step in that, is improving the ballot language in the ordinance that we have on the agenda today. Sent to everyone as part of this documentation was including the ballot language that we put in there. This is a $450 million 10-year SPLOST. As you recall last time, we did a SPLOST in a lower amount, and therefore it only lasted about 6 years, 6.5 years, as opposed to 10 years. So we got through with the SPLOST a little bit early. This time we want to anticipate taking it the full 10 years based on the average collections that we've been doing over the last several years. Our SPLOST sales tax has grown based on the number of people that are visiting our city, up over $40 million, as opposed to where it used to be 28 to 32. Now we're about 40 to 42. So we gave a little room for growth there, which we intend on growing in the next several years, to do a 10-year, $450 million SPLOST. All the ballot language included in there, exactly how you'll see it on when you go to vote there. This is our first step in that. We'll begin rolling everything out the first of next year, but this is the first step in that process to notify the Board of Elections that we'll be calling for a vote so they can do everything they need to do. I see some lights coming on, so we'll go ahead and move to these lights before we get any further with that and before we call for a vote. So I'll start with Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Yes, sir.
I just like to be added as a co-sponsor, and in the same vein as Commissioner Lucas, or former Commissioner Lucas, I think this is such a big deal. I hope we'll all consider being co-authors on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Clark. And as you will recall, not this in any particular order, but we've been talking about roads a lot very often here now. And roads are certainly in there, but anything that you could see that Macon-Bibb County needs is contained in this. So we'll ask that everyone go through there at home and those companies that we deal with and the citizens we have and advocates we have in Macon to review those laundry list of items that could be included in there. Commissioner Wynn?
Yes, sir. I just, since there may be some public watching this, I want people to know that this is a replacement of what we currently have.
This is a renewal?
Renewal, if you want to call it that. And that when the time comes to look at what you're voting for, make sure and read what you're voting for so they'll understand what it covers. Because I think a lot of times people don't understand what a SPLOST covers.
Right. There'll be some education placed out there, basically stating the facts and what our SPOS is. And I'm sure there'll be a committee out there that'll be promoting that can give some more information. Of course, you know, as mayor and commissioners, our hands are tied on how we can advocate, and we're limited by law on ways that we can advocate for or against our SPOS. And so we won't be able to do those types of things. But certainly that ballot language tells the story about what we need in our community. I think everyone can find something that they really appreciate there. And we're looking forward to placing this on the ballot on March 18th of 2025.
Well,
Mr. Wilder?
I just know people ask, and they'll say, I didn't know I was voting on that. Well, it was in there. They just didn't read it or see it. I mean, I'm guilty of that too, to some degree. So
Yes,
just
ma'am.
want to make sure people know.
But yes, it is important to remember that this is a renewal. It's the way we fund our public safety. It's the way we do our roads. It's the way we do those types of things. And it's a renewal. And certainly, if it's not renewed, and of course, you still got to have those things. And so there's other ways that you can do that by property tax increases and things of that nature. So this is just a renewal. It's not an additional tax that we're asking for people to do. Mr. Wild, do you have your light on, sir?
Yes, so they'll understand it's not an additional penny, it's the same penny that's more or less expiring.
That's correct.
And just want to go on record, I know District 6 is more concerned about roads than anything as in all the county. And anybody that may be watching this, pay close attention. This is what you guys are asking for. This is what we are working for. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilder. I think we hear a lot about roads in and out on social media, on our phone calls every day. And of course, assuming everything goes as correctly on this SPOS here, the next problem we'll hear is people are upset because we're paving too many roads and having to go around asphalt trucks. That's a good problem to have. So at this time, we do need a motion to approve. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Bailey over there. Any other questions? Sure. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries, will be sent to the consent agenda. We do have the need to go into executive session. It won't take very long, then we're adjourned on that. And then for those of you filing open records requests on how much food we use every day, we'll be eating some chicken nuggets in the meantime. So I'll be happy to provide you a copy of the bill on that from Mr. Ross's purchase card. So this time we have a motion to go into executive session. We get a second? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. We're now in executive session.
Monroe County Reporter. It wore us out on Monroe County. It wore us out on Monroe County Reporter. I'm sorry. It was Monroe County.